you understand your target market, understand your target audience is the bedrock to building a solid brand. Because when I'm doing a strategy session with the clients, right, what we nail down is your target market, your target audience. So that's what we're going to help myself create that identity system, right, that resonates with them. But at the end of the day, you're not creating a brand that suits you or based on what you like. You're creating a brand based on what appeals to your target audience.
Exactly.
Okay. Like I used to say, tell some of my clients, right? If you like navy blue or you like red, now that's what you like.
Yes,
but if you're selling kids products, like you're selling toys, kids wear and all that, are you going to say, okay, because you like navy blue or you like this dark colors, right, are you going to use that for your brand? No, you're going to create colors and things that are going to appeal to this target market or target audience.
Hey guys, welcome to today's podcast. In today's podcast, I have with me a super amazing guest. He's a brand designer and he is Chimzy Nwoye. It's good to have you here, Chimzy.
Thank you.
So in this podcast, we'll be talking about how small businesses can leverage the power of branding to grow their businesses, right? So we're going to be going to the first question of this podcast, and I want you to give us like a little hint about your story. How did you get started with branding, Chimzy?
Okay, for me, my journey began over a decade ago. Branding fully, right? At first, I started as a visual effects artist, right? 3D modeling, 3D animation. But I wanted to do something that would add more value, that would add value to people, both directly and indirectly. So that was when I discovered logo design, branding. And for me, I really enjoy it, right? It's something that is still within my field. So I didn't want to go outside my field. I wanted something that is still within my field because I knew how to use Photoshop, Illustrator. But I wanted to do something that would add value to businesses.
All right, that's very beautiful. So you were doing visual art and visual effects.
Visual effects, 3D animation.
Now you've now come into branding, right? Visual branding and all of those things. So it's good to have you on today. And I think you're the best person for us to invite because you're going to be sharing with us very important tips that help business owners. From what you said, now what inspired you to help businesses build their brand other than helping personal brands, big businesses? Why did you choose small business?
You know, one of the major challenges of small business owners is that they don't have enough resources. All right, that is one of the major challenges. So most times, because they don't have that funds, that resources to venture into to leverage on branding, they end up doing it themselves using free platforms or falling into cheap designers, right? At the end of the day, you end up spending money on the longer run. So that is why I looked at it and I'm like, okay, yes, the big businesses can pay, right, for your services. But for me, I feel more fulfilled doing it for small business owner because it is something that is more fulfilling when you see your designs being used, or you see a small business owner grow from where he is, right, to becoming that, to getting to that level, or you see your designs come to life, right? It's more fulfilling.
So you choose to help small businesses from what you said because you felt or you believe it is more fulfilling, right?
Yes.
That's
because a lot of them fall into the wrong hands because they're looking for cheaper alternatives, right?
And I think I see a lot of small businesses who make the mistakes of doing very poor designs because they claim they don't have a lot of money.
Yes, they end up using
Canva. Most of these.
I won't say Canva because Canva is just like it's just a tool. Right? People usually confuse design softwares as what creates the design. It's just a tool, right? The one matters is the person using it. I use Canva to do some certain things. There are a lot of designers that also use Canva to do certain things, right? But it's not about using Canva, it's about what you do inside Canva. Like I don't use Canva for to create logo designs. You might use Canva for something like maybe you want to do something quickly. All right, you can use Canva for such stuff, right? You don't need to start creating something those designs from scratch. But people usually use most of these free logo design software tools online. Use those templates or use those what do you call it? Symbols, abstract art, and all that. Forgetting that those platforms have millions of users.
Exactly.
So you end up creating a logo on this platform, and you find the logo being similar, but other businesses you have the same. You cannot stand out because if you're using this design and another person is using the design, maybe the difference is just the color. Maybe your own color is red and another person is using blue. There's no identity there. You're not going to stand out.
So that's very, very true. Because I think I had the same experience when I was starting out. creating a logo was a very big problem to me, and I felt it was too costly to invest in logo designs, right? And I think I went to a particular, I think a particular app or something like that to create a website for me. I think was it Telegram? I don't know exactly what it is, right? And they gave me these suggestions, right? And a friend also wanted to do, because I wanted to create a logo around my first name, my initial capital, which is C, right? And I saw different designs, and these designs that were generated for me were designs that I'd really seen for other brands.
That is the problem,
right?
So, that is the problem.
And I asked myself, what's the point of doing free stuff when I would not stand out, right? So I think that's a very, very interesting point, and I think small business owners should take note of that. So now, to you, why is branding essential for small businesses?
The ultimate goal is just to stand out.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of noise. There are a lot of businesses that are doing the same thing as you.
Okay.
Except you're in a field where you're the only person doing that business. You're the only person selling that product. It's very rare, right? Yeah. The competition is very high. Yeah. So how do you stand out? For me, branding is super important. It's like a way for you to stand out and give your target audience that reason why they should pick you over your competitors, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's very, very interesting. So let's say for a layman who doesn't understand what branding is, can you tell us what branding is, just in simple terms?
Branding is basically the process of creating the right perception in the minds of your target audience, right? It is the process of creating that emotional connection. The brand is not what you create; it's what your target audience feel
about.
Right? You can try to create that perception, but if they don't feel that same way, if they don't feel that. If they don't have that emotional connection, then you feel.
Okay, that's very, very. So we have big brands like Apple, we have big brands like Nike, we have big brands like Louis Vuitton. Right? I think in the other podcast we were talking about Louis Vuitton, how Louis Vuitton has now become a luxury brand because of how they position, how they position, right? The company position itself, right? And people, whoever owns a Louis Vuitton now sees it as a luxury good that he can go to an event and want to show off what he got from Louis Vuitton. That's an interesting point, right?
You know, the brand, there are a lot of things the brand holds, right? Now, like you mentioned, now Louis Vuitton, anybody who purchases Louis Vuitton product know that they are purchasing that brand.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not that Louis Vuitton have the best product. There are other companies that produces the same product or similar products, right? Now, anybody that buys a Louis Vuitton product, they are buying that brand.
They're buying the brand, yeah.
They are buying it because they have that connection with Louis Vuitton. Exactly. They are buying that prestige. They are that luxury. They are buying that high status, right?
And for what you just said, just maybe remember what was happening currently in Nigeria, right?
Yeah.
If you go to Aba, especially Aba, the bags you see on Louis Vuitton has also been created in Nigeria. In fact, Aba guys are very good at replicating those international brands. But what still makes this brand sell off even in Nigeria is still because of what you just said. The perception the customers have about that Louis Vuitton. They can see what an Aba person did and what Louis Vuitton, the same sample. They can see the same sample, but they will still pick Louis Vuitton over the Aba-made products. So it's very, very interesting that you spoke about that, right? So now let's pick a small business. Like, let's say a business that is focused around selling wares, right? Female or male wares, right? How can branding, right? How can this small business brand themselves? Like, let's say somebody who is into a boutique business, who sell dresses, who sell wares for male.
The best way to execute this is to really understand your business. You need to understand your target market, your target audience. That is the first thing. If you understand your target market, understand your target audience is the bedrock to building a solid brand. Because when I'm doing a strategy session with the clients, right, what we nail down is your target market, your target audience. So that's what is going to help me myself create that identity system, right, that resonates with them. But at the end of the day, you're not creating a brand that suits you or based on what you like. You're creating a brand based on what appeals to your target audience.
Exactly.
Okay. Like I used to tell some of my clients, right? If you like navy blue or you like red, now that's what you like. But if you're selling kids product, like you're selling toys, kids wear and all that, are you going to say, okay, because you like navy blue or you like this dark colors, right? Are you going to use that for your brand? No, you're going to create colors and things that are going to appeal to this target market or target audience.
Okay, beautiful. So now talking about this color, you just an element of branding, right? What are some of the elements of branding?
The key elements are your logo, right? it's like aside the logo, let's say your business name is very important. A lot of people don't get this part right. The business name is super important. A lot of businesses that have gone downhill because their name is not good enough. Right? Yes, people neglect this part. It's okay, it's just a name, right? Yeah. The name is super important. Yeah. When it comes to branding, that name is extremely important. Your business name, your logo, right? Your color, the fonts, your website, how you are able to make all these elements, how you are able to make them work together hand in hand to help you achieve your goal. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful, because I think I read a story about Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon.
Yeah.
I think they said the first name he gave to Amazon, I cannot remember exactly, but it was actually, I think it starts with C. Is it Cassandra? So I cannot remember exactly. But he said that he had to change that name because it was an English word.
Yeah.
In the US, like it was actually a very good word. Yeah. But in another language, right, it meant something very terrible, something evil, right? So he had to change it because he was not going to sell to the US market alone, right? Because it will not be good that your goods is perceived in the US as good. But when it goes around, because of this, the name you have, right, it now affects your brand, right? So that part's very, very important. So as you said, the business name is also very, very important, logo and all of the rest, right? Now, a lot of people still think that, okay, like you just said, these are elements, right? Not the brand itself.
Not the brand itself,
right? So what are some of the misconceptions you think people have around branding? So
there are so many.
I think that's something people should also take note of.
There are so many.
All right.
There are so many.
Okay.
But I'm going to just mention two, right? Number one is people think branding is logo design.
Oh, yes.
And when you meet someone now on the street now, what is branding? Be like, or somebody will come and meet you, and some clients will meet me and be like, please, can you help me create a brand? And when they want just logo design.
Logo design, yeah.
The logo is not your brand.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
The logo is not your brand.
Yes.
People usually think because if they meet you and be like, okay, I want to create a brand. What they want is just logo.
Yes.
The brand encompasses more than just the logo. It's more than just the logo. It's your tone of voice, your target audience. All these things are part of your brand. It's not just your logo. Your logo is just one part. You can have a great logo, but you don't have a brand. A lot of people that just they'll be like, okay, they have a business, right? They just put their logo, add their color, their business card, and their website. It's okay, yes, I have a brand.
I'm now a brand.
Yes, I have a brand. Come and patronize my brand.
Yes.
Not a brand. Brand is basically what people feel. A lot of businesses that are making money, but they're not brands. Because they don't have that perception.
Exactly.
You understand?
Exactly.
So you need to be able to create that perception in the mind of the target audience. And to do that, it doesn't happen overnight.
Yes.
It takes time. Apple did not become a brand overnight.
No.
You know when Apple started? So Apple began to build that brand way back.
Yes.
You understand? Another misconception is that people think branding is for big companies.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
A small business owner can utilize leverage on the power of branding. Yeah. Like you don't have to do what the big business. You can start with your logo, have your website. See, all these elements they are all affordable. You can create them, but it's what you do with those elements that is what helps you build that brand. How are you able to communicate those elements to your target audience? It's not about having a logo. It's not about, you can have look at the Nike logo. It's just a simple swoosh, right? Look at the Apple logo. It's just an apple with a bite. You understand? But it's not what they do around that logo that gives that logo that meaning, that creates that brand. So you can have a logo that is just X.
Yes.
But that meaning, what you are able to do with that, then your messaging, your tone of voice, all these things, your target audience, you are able to utilize all these elements to create that connection, that brand. You understand? That is what matters. Not just your logo. Yeah.
Okay, that's very, very interesting. I think also I don't know why, but I actually love what Jeff Bezos did with Amazon. We look at Jeff Bezos, the Amazon logo. I think it's AZ. Then there is like a mark. He said the reason why the logo is AZ because
that logo is very creative.
Yes, he said he wanted to let customers have it in mind that they have from A to Z, everything.
Now a lot of people want to look at that Amazon logo now. You can see how simple it is.
Exactly, very
sometimes
simple.
You create a logo for a client and the client will be like, this thing is too simple.
They want something,
but they don't know that there is that the logo doesn't have to be super complex. One of the key elements of an effective logo is simplicity.
Okay.
It has to be appropriate. It has to be simple. It has to be distinctive. These are the three core elements of an effective logo. Now look at that Amazon logo now. You can see just the letter Amazon with an arrow that arrow that goes from A to Z. And that logo conveys a lot of meaning. It conveys a smile.
Yeah,
the customer smile. It also conveys movement. It also conveys selling A to Z products. But look at the thing is just simple.
Exactly.
But remember that logo is packed with a lot of information.
Wow. This session is becoming very, very interesting, right? Because I think a lot of these misconceptions are very, very true. A lot of businesses, like myself, when I wanted to start out my small business, then I was always thinking that I don't need to be I cannot be a brand as a small business. That I was too small to be a brand, right? But just if I had listened to this podcast earlier, I would have started my business since when I was 15, right? Because that was when I started business. But I felt it wasn't in my own lane to build a brand, right? I wish I had known better, right? So now another question I want to ask, I want to find out is, now let's say you're having a strategy session with a client, right? Now you've talked about they have to know their target audience. You talked about some important questions you need to ask. Now, what are some of the challenges you have with customers when they are in your strategy so that you think let's say after this podcast are going to have people who are going to come to you? What are some of the mistakes you think the small business owners have when they are in a strategy session with you that you think they have to like call?
Awesome. This is a very interesting question.
Okay.
But sometimes a client meets you and they'll be like, they want you to do this, right? They want you to design this thing. Okay. And I'm like, okay, I'm the expert here, right? If you know, why don't you do it yourself?
Exactly.
If you know what you want, then you do it yourself. Because for you to come to me means you want my expert advice. You want that expert touch. You want me to utilize my expertise to create this design for you, to create this, to help you bring your brand to life. Right. So one thing I want clients to understand is that, or people to, most especially small business, because most big brands, they understand the importance of design. That's true. That's why they have design departments. They don't. That's why most of the time people that give you the most headaches is the people that don't have money. The small business owners. But those big brands, they know what they want. They allow you to do your job, right? They allow you to utilize your expertise to execute their ideas. Okay. So when a small business owner meets you and they'll be like, okay, this is what I want to do, this, do that. It becomes frustrating because you're not allowing the designer become creative, yes, to utilize his expertise. Because listen, I didn't just wake up to become it took a lot of hard work, learning, and I'm still learning, right? It took a lot of learning, hard work, and continuous improvement to get to where I am. So as an expert, you need to allow that person, you don't even only in design, in all areas, right? You need to allow the expert do his or her job, right? If you want you can share your idea, you can move back and forth with this, but at the end of the day, the expert needs to be creative and do what is best. Because for the fact that he's an expert, right, the person has the best idea for you. But sometimes the idea might not be, and sometimes it
may not be what you
when you're working with the clients, right? Sometimes their clients might bring up good ideas that you may not have thought about, understand? Sometimes it's very important for the expert to be open-minded, to be able to move back and forth with the client. The aim is to arrive at the best solution. But at the end of the goal of branding is to provide solution, right? For the business to go from where it is to where it wants to be.
All right, that's very, very interesting. So now one of the challenges small businesses have is that they don't have a lot of resources. Right now, how can small businesses that don't have a lot of resources, that we know that they don't have resources, how can they invest in branding?
They can.
Okay, how?
There are so many routes, right? Sometimes you can do it yourself if you know what to do. But I will not advise anyone to do it themselves. If you don't understand, because there are a lot that goes into branding. You need to first of all understand your target market, do research, now know how to execute ideas. You understand? Know how to learn design tools, and it's not something that most of them don't have the time to learn all these things.
Doing a business is already a big job.
Yes.
So now beginning to maybe want you to brand your business yourself is actually,
and like you said, the main challenges of small business owners that they don't have the resources, the funds, right? For me, right, you can't run away from spending money.
Exactly. That's true.
If you're trying to run away from spending money, you're going to make mistakes. There are people that tried it, they end up falling for in the wrong hands. Right? You meet someone that will charge you 1,000 naira
and give you a very
and you think the person who put all his effort to do a logo for you for that amount. That's understand? Or you think, okay, you want to go online and use few design tools, right? To use a template and create your logo. That site you're using to build a logo, there are millions of people that make use of that same site. So your logo will not have any identity. So you cannot run away from spending money. But I'll tell people that you don't have to break the bank. Like, you don't have to spend all your money on creating your brand, your designs, your like I prefer to use the word visual identity, right, or brand identity, right? You don't have to break the bank. You can. There are a lot of people that are affordable, right? They are affordable. For me, that's why I'm focusing mainly on small business owners, because that is where you're going to. That is where I get the most joy. You know that, yes, I'm really helping this person. This person does not have that money, and I'm doing it because I'm helping this person. You know, there's nothing that's stopping me from focusing on the big brands.
Exactly, because they pay better. Actually,
that doesn't mean that when I'm focusing on the small business owner, the person will have to undervalue my work. No. You have to do something. Invest. It's an investment. It's not something that you just say, okay, you are helping me, then you now appreciate my value. But I'm giving you value, so you have to make that investment, and that investment, it does not necessarily mean that you're going to break the bank. It can be affordable, but at the end of the day, you need to make that investment.
I think there's a point you just made now, which is very, very interesting. I think the business owner should take note of that, right? You talked about investing. You talked about branding being an investment, which is very
investment,
very
yes.
Right now, I'm aware. I've been. I think I started building my personal brand, my personal business brand, right, since last year, right, and I'm beginning to see a lot of benefits for building a brand. With branding, right, you can actually charge more, right? It helps you to, like you said, compete better. You also charge more, so it's more like an investment, because if you're investing for one thing that gets the criteria for an investment is if you invest a little amount of money, and in the future term,
the return of investment is high. So that branding, the ROI is very high. Because there are a lot of benefits you get from branding. You're going to get, people are going to patronize you. Because one of the benefits of branding, it will help you stand out.
Exactly.
Okay. When someone wants to buy from this company, I'll be like, okay, what is that you can do that will help you differentiate yourself from the crowd?
And I think a typical example is, if I ask you a question, let's say I just come to you as a business owner, and I say I want to get I want to get wear, or I want to get sneakers. The first thing that comes to your mind, it means why doesn't it come to your mind? Because that person has built a brand, and you now identify with it, so it's not because the first thing in your mind, right? And that's what you do. That's what you just said now. A brand allows you to build a perception.
That's your brand, that image you created for your business. It sticks in the mind of the target audience. So when they want to buy, if they remember you, see they want to go for. If someone wants to buy a phone, most times a lot of people will go for iPhones. Because of that brand.
The perception, around.
So branding does a lot for small business owners. You understand? Because let's say you want to buy a shoe, right? You will not want to go for someone that is doing the same that everyone else is doing. You want to go to that brand that is doing something that that thing that will help attract you.
And you know, we as human beings, we are very proud individuals, regardless of how you say, how you think about it, right? If I'm buying an iPhone, there's a reason why I'm buying it. I'm not just buying it to feel good. I'm also buying it to like be among people. So it gives me that high social value, right? And as a business owner, that should be something you should try to create for your customers. Let customers buy from you and feel like, oh, I'm happy to be among this person's customers. At least it gives me that sense of I feel justified for spending a particular amount of money on this. So that's very, very interesting, and I really love that you spoke about that, right? So let's talk about rebranding, right? You talked initially about how business owners fall into the hands of poor designers. Is it poor designers you talked about?
I'll call them bad designers.
Bad designers, right? Because they want to underspend, right? And they don't want to spend a lot of money. They don't want to invest in branding, right? Now, I
won't say spend a lot of money, because it sounds like branding is expensive.
Okay.
There are people that want they're looking for cheap services. I use that word cheap. You understand? Cheap services.
Okay. So now, how does a small business who have made this mistake, how do they rebrand themselves?
You have to, because rebranding is expensive.
Okay.
That is why I tell people you have to get it right at the first stage.
Okay.
Because if you think, okay, let me do it myself now.
Sharp.
Let me use this online free logo creator.
When I make money.
When I now make money, I will now people are underestimating the gravity of rebranding. You spend money because now you think, okay, when I start that, when I make money, I will rebrand. Now, once you make money, you are forgetting that you've created a lot of merchandise, like your t-shirts with that old logo. All your stationery materials have that old logo. You now have to start
start over
again to start changing all those. All those things is money.
Yes.
Now, your clients, your customer that know you for that thing, you need to start relearning, to start knowing you are fresh again. And some businesses have collapsed.
Yes.
Because of rebranding.
Just to recall when.
Yes.
Let's use Nigeria as an example.
Yes.
Let's talk about Nine-Mobile and Etisalat.
Okay.
Can you can remember that, right? The idea people had around Etisalat, even NEPA and PHED, right? You see, it's hard for Nigeria. Okay.
I'll have your point, but it's not really the same as what we're talking about now. Rebranding is, we're talking about rebranding, right?
Okay.
Like for small business owners who are some businesses that want to rebrand, most of them are rebranding because something is not right. They want to get something right. Maybe they because once you become big, you start noticing the mistakes in your logo.
Yes.
That your logo is bad. Maybe because you're small, nobody knows you. Having 10 customers, 20 customers, nobody knows you now. Or that your logo, you could think it's working because nobody knows. But once you start becoming bigger,
people begin to
now realize that your logo is not good enough to work on certain places.
On a larger scale.
Because if your logo is not effective, it means it cannot work on certain, maybe it's not, they cannot allow you to produce it in certain scales, or the person that created the logo for you created it in maybe Photoshop.
Okay. Oh yes.
All right, because that's one of the big problems.
Yes.
They create a logo for you in Photoshop. Your logo has to be in vector, not a raster.
Yes. So
right. So now, once you become big, you now realize that your logo is bad.
Okay.
That is when you start thinking about rebranding. And rebranding is not cheap; it's expensive. But all those you're using, you use your logo on. You need to change them.
Change all of
and you need to start making your target audience to know about your rebrand. And you spend money on ads and all that. A lot of businesses that have gone down because of rebranding.
Yeah.
They have gone down because they maybe their customers already know them for their setting, for their brand, their old brand. Now once you create a new brand, it becomes difficult for them to really align with that new brand. And some sales will keep on going down until they stop making sales. You understand? So it's dangerous. That's why I tell my clients, I'll tell people that you have to get it right at first. You have to get it right, and you have to make sure that you don't fall into the wrong hands. You have to make sure that you get your brand right, your visual identity right. So that way it becomes easier for you to grow. So you not get to a certain level now, and your big problem at that particular level is to think about rebranding and all that. It can be daunting and stressful.
Okay, so now this is a point you're actually sounding very emotional, and I think you are saying this from a place of love, right?
Yeah.
Now, how do small business owners, right, those who want to brand, right, how do they identify the professional designers over bad design? How do they identify these things?
It's difficult.
Because it's very important.
Now we have social media, right?
Yes.
Everybody try to portray themselves as an expert on social media. You come on Instagram, you see people with flashy Instagram bios and all that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's difficult for these people to know.
Okay.
One of the best ways to know is the price. Okay. If someone tells you that they want to charge you 1,000 and I want to charge a certain amount of money, all right, there's some prices you hear, like this thing is ridiculous.
Exactly.
No one is going to
very true,
create that identity for that strategy, identity for 1,000 naira. All right. So for me, it's another way for you to know where a bad designer is. When you talk to the person, right, you know when someone knows what they are talking about, what they knows that field very well, you know. By having that discussion with the client will know. The client are human, they will know. They can feel that, okay, this person knows. Like for you now, if you're talking to somebody that is an expert, you know.
Exactly.
Now the person will talk, you know that the person knows what he's saying, right?
And I think from what I know, an expert tries to solve a problem.
Exactly.
Like this podcast we're actually making, you're actually solving a problem to the audience, right? And it's even if you don't say an expert, people already, myself, I can already testify that you are an expert on what you're saying. But other people, the bad designers, in addition to what you're saying, those ones are interested in the money. The one is, can you give me what, even if 1,000 now, I'll do something that nothing concern them about the future, the long term. But yours, even from what you just said about even your strategy session, you also talk about the long term vision of the brand, right? So you talk about that. So it's very, very interesting that you spoke about that. Right now, let's and another thing I also want us to talk about before we begin to round up this interesting podcast is now having talked about branding, we talked about the challenges you experience about brand. Can you give us a sort of story around branding, about maybe about the client you work with and how branding helped the person?
For me, my own success story is basically when I create an identity system for my clients.
Okay.
Because when you start from scratch and you see your idea, your idea, you understand, being used by your client, it's for me it's a win.
Okay.
It's fulfilling, yes.
Okay. So we initially talked about the misperception around branding. You said logo is not branding, like it's an element, like you said, website, and again, a logo is not just for big brands, it's also for small brands, right? Now,
small businesses, yeah.
For small business, what advice will you give to small businesses who are looking to brand themselves?
I would say you need to really understand your business.
Okay.
You need to understand your target market. You need to understand your target audience. Okay. Because that is the foundation for you to ensure that you have a solid brand. Okay. Because when you're having this, like for me, when I'm having a strategy session with my clients, the client needs to show that he or she understands his or her business.
Yes.
Because that's how I'm able to extract the information that I need to help you create that. Because if you're giving the designer
just small,
you're not giving the designer that in-depth information about your business, your industry. It's difficult to create a brand that really resonates with your target audience. So as a designer, you need to sit down and understand the target market, understand your business, you understand your target audience, because it's super important when it comes to branding.
Okay. So now I'll ask you two questions and I'll wrap up this session. If let's turn the tables now.
Yeah.
If you're a business owner, right, what are two branding elements you're going to focus on if you don't have a lot of money?
It's another very interesting question.
So we know
the first one is you need to make sure that you get your business name right. Now, most times people who are coming to me for brand identity design, they already have their name already, right? So you need to focus on your logo. In fact, it's one of the most important brand identity elements. Your logo. That is like it's like the face of your business. It's what people like. I tell people, if you imagine I am Apple without that Apple logo, if you remove that Apple logo from the back of iPhone, a lot of people will not buy that product because they are not able to show people that brand. But that logo is what holds the Apple brand.
Exactly.
So the logo is very important. It's what represents your business. So it's like the face of your business. Your colors, your font, your website, all those things are things that are secondary, but your logo is very important. You need to ensure that you get it right.
Okay, so logo and business.
Your business name, your logo, but the logo is very important.
Very important.
The most important.
Okay, so business owners, please just take note of that, right? So lastly, and let's say at the end of this podcast, somebody messages you and tells you, oh, I'm a small business owner, I enjoyed the podcast today and I want to create a brand, right? I don't have a lot of money. What will you say to the person? Or how will you help him?
I would say the person needs to ensure that he or she has that mindset that this is an investment. Because most times people might come to you to help you, but as a designer, I have my own limits. I'm not going to help you and
stay hungry.
It's not about you staying hungry. Like, I'm not going to help you now and put myself as a disadvantage, right? I need to like I used to tell people, it's an exchange of value. I'm giving you that value, and but it doesn't mean that you're going to break the bank. But if you meet me, they will now discuss, and I will now say, okay, if you are the right fit. Sometimes people might not even have enough resources. Then you will now say, okay, this person this is an interesting business. Then you can even sacrifice and to help the person. Some people might even have the money. it might end up not even doing the job, because sometimes people might have the money, and the way they will approach you on other things, might you might realize that, okay, yes, this is not the right fit for me.
Okay.
Because you know, every business that comes to me for branding that I work with, you understand? Some you need to ensure that you're working with people that aligns with your values and all that.
Yes, yes, that's very interesting. So last question, what are some of the emerging trends or some of the innovations you see around branding that you think is something every business owner should know about?
I tell people, stay away from trends.
Okay.
When it comes to branding, you have to stay away from trends. But trends come and go.
Okay.
If you create your brand based on trends, right? When the trend goes away, your brand becomes outdated. That's why you see a lot of businesses now outdated, because their brand was centered around trends. So you need to ensure that your brand is timeless.
Okay.
When you're creating your brand, it has to be timeless. Okay. You're not going to use things that are based on the current trends and all that.
Exactly. That's
why it's the job of the designer to ensure that your brand is timeless. Even in the next 20 years, it's still relevant. Okay. It's very, very important.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's very, very important. So if you enjoyed today's podcast, I would like you to please subscribe to this YouTube channel. And again, if this video brought a lot of value, like this video, right? Share this video with your friends. Also, turn on the bell icon to get notified once I release more video. And if you are listening to this on Spotify, please make sure you like this video, follow us on Spotify. And again, if you want to download, you can also download this podcast on Spotify, right? I'll also be dropping the link to Chimzy's profile or all his platforms, so if you want to contact him for design, you can also contact him. Like I said before, he's a brand designer, he's a brand identity designer. He can help you walk your business from where you are right now to where you have been dreaming of, right? So if you want to become one of the top businesses, right, he can help you do all of those things, right? He does logo design, a lot of things around branding. So you can reach out to him. I'm very, very happy to share this podcast, this same floor with Chimzy. It's good to have you again, once again. Thank you very, very much.
No, yeah.